AI has changed the way we build a personal brand forever, and the people who use it to post more often are growing 5, 10, 20 times faster than anyone else. And if you're building a personal brand in 2026, one of the most important things is frequency. The more content you post, the more visible you become. And this is the same strategy I've used to get over 60,000 followers across YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. But creating a week's worth of content in a single sitting almost feels impossible, unless you have a full content team like people like Alex Hormozi and Gary Vee have. And these guys have figured out the art of distributing content. But what if I told you that you could run the same playbook using Claude Code without having a big team? You hand the entire distribution layer to AI agents that handle the formatting, the scheduling, and cross-posting while you focus on creating. So let me show you how to do this. Okay, so the way this works is a 3-layer content system, which I've outlined here. This is exactly what guys like Dan Koe uses to create and distribute his content. And that's what we're going to be going through in this tutorial today. So the first step is to start with one piece of anchor content. So this could be a video, a podcast, it could be a newsletter that you write every week. You could even borrow content from other people and pull out ideas, key lessons and learnings and use that as your seed piece. The second is to reformat. You don't need to necessarily rewrite the whole thing. You can just reshape it from one platform to the next. Your Instagram reel script is going to be different from your LinkedIn post, right? Which will be text and image typically. And then you're going to distribute. So scheduling everywhere, pushing the content out across every platform, completely hands off. So we can do this inside of Claude Code with one MCP, and that's what I'm going to show you today. Now, the MCP I've decided to use is Blotato. You may have or may not have heard of this company. They've got a fantastic product which is all around creating and distributing content. So you drop in a topic, you pick a template, and boom, you've got posts finished, ready to schedule across platforms, right? And they've used their own platform to grow their own tool. And I spoke with the founder, and she's got millions of followers across platforms. You could see that she went from 0 to 1.3 million followers in 15 months without a team, without paid ads, all of that stuff, just using content. And she pumps out a lot of volume, more than I'm doing right now. So it's a bit of a challenge to me to like level up my own game. So inside of the platform, we are going to connect up their MCP, and they've got a few different plans, right? Obviously there's a 7-day free trial, and then there's some paid options as well. So you can try this out completely for free for 7 days. And in fact, I'm going to put in a link below in the description if you want to go ahead and do that. Now, if you do want to use the MCP, which I'm using today, you will need to upgrade your account to the, I think it's $29 a month to generate an API key. If you just want to test it out, take it for a test drive, you can come in and create a post. You can head over to your settings account and you can integrate all of your social media accounts here as well. So what I'll need to do, even though I am using the MCP, I will need to connect all of my social media accounts in here before I can do anything over in Claude Code. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and we'll be back. We'll go and install the MCP, and then we'll start creating some content using their own templates, and I'll use some of my own context, which will help shape the voice and the tone, because I already have my own skills for creating social media content. You know, I have 60,000 followers across platforms, so I know how to grow my social media account. So it's going to be interesting for me to see the comparison between the quality of content that we can get from Blotato, and maybe even merge it with some of my own stuff, and how much volume we can get from, let's say, a YouTube video or a podcast, something like this. So that's what we're going to test out. So yeah, it's super easy, like one click, sign in, OAuth kind of thing here. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that for all of my accounts. Okay, awesome. So you can see I've connected my Facebook account, my YouTube account, my Instagram account, LinkedIn, and X. Now, we can create faceless videos and carousels. So I'm going to definitely be curious to see how that all works when we get things set up. So I am going to generate an API key for the MCP, which we can add just by slapping this inside of Claude Code. And I'm not going to generate the API key now, but I am going to hook that up and we'll head over to Claude Code and get this set up. So see if we can install this. So I just literally dropped in the URL. It's asking me what I want to do with it. And we're going to add it to the user config. Yes, we've got an API key, and let's go. I'm just going to install my this MCP. We'll have to put the API key in my env file. Now, if you want to install this on Claude Desktop, totally fine. If you use a different IDE, if you're using Cursor or something, if you want to use that, you can go ahead and there's tutorials in here. You can use the NA10 automation as well if you want to sync things up that way. But there's a few videos and help guides here if you want to do that. You can just set up the connector in Claude Desktop. It'll be like super simple for you to do. I mean, in fact, if we come in here, we can go into the settings. We can go into connectors and, oh, they moved it to customize. And then you'll be able to add this, browse connectors, maybe. Okay, we'd have to install a custom one, custom connector, put in the name, put in the remote MCP URL. Blotato, I can add that, and then boom, you can connect it. One-click authentication, prove access, and it should be good to go. So that's if you want to use Claude Desktop. Now, we're not going to do that for today, but I just wanted to give you a quick demo on how that's done. Okay, so I did just generate an API key, and it does have a setup command, so you can just go ahead and copy that in and paste it in. I was just jumping ahead a little bit, but either way is going to work. As you can see in Claude Code, I have installed it. It's just asking me to put my API key in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll get this working. Okay, so to add the API key, you can see it's just giving me this command here. So I'm going to copy and paste it, put it in my notes folder, replace the API key, and then I'm going to input this into my terminal. The key being the exclamation mark, right? We need to exclamation mark this command, and it's going to pop that straight into the config. Okay, so we're installed, and I'm back into Claude Code. You have to restart. So I'm just going to ask, what tools do we have for the Blotato MCP? See what tools we've got with the MCP, and we'll get creating some content, shall we? So these are all the tools that we've got access to inside of Claude Code, and this is everything that you can do on the Blotato website and the app dashboard as well. We can create posts, we can create a schedule, list schedule, update the schedule, we can create the visuals, the media, we can create a content source, accounts, with 19 tools. So what I'm going to do is say, hey, I want to create a bunch of different posts from one seed piece of content. I'm going to grab a YouTube video. Let me know if you need the transcript, or I can just put the link in. It's going to be an interview with the founder of Hermes Agent. And then I want to create some short posts for different platforms to pull out the key points and that people like, practical value that people can use and take away from. So yeah, I found an interview with the founder of Hermes, and I want to pull out some key points, put it into a post, and get that scheduled out to my audiences. Okay, so cool thing is I do have TalkScript, which is I'm able to pull in a transcript from a YouTube link, so I don't need to pull the transcript at all. So that's kind of cool. It's now loading a different skill, which is not what we want to do. So I'm going to tell it that we want to be using the Blotato MCP for this process. And click next. I'm going to grab the link. I'm going to pop this in. Claude is going a little bit crazy here. It's pulled the transcript, but it wasn't trying to load a different skill. So I need to be specific here, because I do have some content creation skills inside of here already. And it maybe got a little bit confused. Now, what I would do here moving forward, I would probably create my own skill and integrate Blotato into that skill, so that once I've written a post, I can schedule it out across platforms without having to actually manually post it myself. That's kind of one of the big pieces of value here, that I'm going to be integrating this into my workflows. Okay, cool. So for the Blotato MCP, it's going to be better for scheduling out your posts and distribution. Now, over on the actual platform, you've got inspiration, you've got prompts, and these are only available inside this platform here. These are the things that you'll want to pull from. And what I would do in this case, I would pull some of these different prompts, different structures of your posts into a skill. I'd merge it into a skill over in Claude Code if you want to kind of level up your content creation. Now, because I already have skills for my content creation, I'm going to use one of those. I'm going to write the content pull it from this YouTube transcript, and then I'm going to distribute it to across platforms and get that scheduled out for later today. So it's pulled out the practical takeaways, right? It's got like 6 points here right now. So I would probably do some kind of like 6 keys or 6 lessons from the founder of Hermes Agent. So I'm going to do something for X, do something for LinkedIn, something for Instagram, something for Facebook, the visuals. We're going to do tweet card carousel, probably not. Quote card. We'll need to create some kind of post image for LinkedIn. I'm going to use the same image on X, and then we could create a carousel for Instagram, and then for YouTube, I'm not entirely sure. We can use the same image from X and LinkedIn, also on Facebook. So, okay, draft, schedule after approval, publish immediately. I'm just going to draft everything first, see where we get to. Okay, cool. We have some updates here. Right. So the drafts are done. I'm going to take a look at those in a minute. An 8-tweet thread is not what I want. So we're going to take a look at that in a second. And LinkedIn, obviously 1 post. Great. Facebook is trimmed. Instagram, 8-slide carousel. Okay, cool. So one of the things we can do, the image generation, the carousel generation, and also the image to video generation. So that's what we could put out on YouTube Shorts or Instagram. We're going to get to that in a second. If you are thinking, well, this is all well and good, but how do I actually create the content for my post? Well, I did a full video on that, but I give you the entire system, and it's taken my LinkedIn account now to like over 18,000 followers. And I use the same thing. I use the same skill to create my X content as well. And I got over 28,000 followers over there. So if you want to grab that, the link is going to be in the description, and it might even be on the screen right now. But let's take a look at the content that is generated. Okay, so this is some of the content. You can see this is the Twitter thread, which I think is okay, but I am going to get it to do another pass and just tighten things up a bit. The LinkedIn post. Again, what I want to see a list. This is a big block of text that people are they're not going to read the whole thing. I do like the hook. I think it's decent, but I think mentioning Hermes Agent is probably going to be a better hook. And the Instagram carousel slides, again, we want to have it like as a numbered list. So that's what we're going to go for here. Going to give a bit more feedback. So it's a good first attempt. I need you to be very specific with the numbered list. You need to give them like the 6 keys from the Hermes Agent founder. Right, that needs to be like the key hook. You need to mention Hermes in the opening hook. Maybe brainstorm and give me like 10 different hooks. You can also lean into the frameworks from the content-create skill that I currently have. Make sure to apply the humanizer, the slippery slope effect, and the X post can basically be the same as the LinkedIn post. We do need to make sure there's like a numbered list, and the Facebook post can be basically the same as well. And then for the Instagram carousel slides, we need to make sure that each slide is numbered. So we have the hook on the first slide, numbered points or like keys on each of the slides, and then the call to action at the end to follow for more content like this. And then for YouTube, you could create a set of images, and then we could put that in a video. We could even put the carousel images in a video or something like this, and have like an AI avatar or some kind of voiceover. Yeah, let's see what you've got. All right, let's see if it's going to come back with something a little bit better, and then we can get this scheduled out to all platforms. We need to get the image done as well. Okay, so in the content creation skill, which you will find in the video that I told you about earlier, it's how I create my content is I create a ton of different hooks and I score them on a scale of 1 to 10 based on different direct response marketing principles. And so that's what's happened here. It's given me 10 hooks. Typically, I generate a lot more than this. There's one here that I really like. The number 1 open source repo on GitHub right now is an AI agent called Hermes. Its founder just gave away the 6 keys to getting real work out of any agent. I think that is absolute killer. So we're going to roll with what's that? That's number 1. So that's super nice. We're going to roll with that probably across all platforms. And then for YouTube, slides and AI voiceover, let's try it. I don't do any shorts on YouTube, and I've only done a handful of reels on Instagram. It's kind of the platforms that I've not really put much time into. So I'm definitely curious to see what this looks like, because I did create some AI shorts like quite a while ago, and they are still on my YouTube channel. They're not the best in the world, so that's definitely something I'm going to be working on. Okay, so we've got the updated copy. I think this is much better. You can see that the XLinkedIn Facebook post, we've got the hook, and then we've got the 6 keys. This is definitely more like what I was thinking. So I'm going to tell it to split them out, because we don't want hashtags on, well, we don't want hashtags on any of them, to be honest. So we're going to remove those manually. This is Obsidian, if you're wondering what I'm editing in here. This is how I organize and store and view all of my notes. This is just a file viewer. I'm just viewing files on my laptop. This is just specifically for MD files. And it's got my carousel, which is good. Let's just get this created and see. I think this YouTube voiceover is going to be too long. Apart from that, we've got the shared image. It's just going to be 6 keys to getting real work out of any AI agent as like a quote card. We could try it. It might be okay. So let's try that. So all looking good. We don't want hashtags on the Facebook post, X post, LinkedIn. You want to make sure that it's 1 sentence per line, so it's a lot easier to read. The YouTube script, I think, might be too long for a YouTube short. You've got to keep it like, I would say, maximum 60 seconds. And the shared image looks good. We want to create it. And then I want you to use the image creation skill that we recently created, and then create a bunch more variations of this. Probably don't want to put too much on the actual image, too much text on the image. 6 keys to getting real work out of any AI agent. Big headline, and then from the founder of Hermes, like smaller sub-headline at the top or the bottom. That's probably the better way to format it in a few different styles. So let's get everything created, including the carousels, following my brand guidelines, and then see where we get to. Boom, right, I'll be back when everything's done. Now, while this is working, one of the things that you could have done with this interview is you could have created content for every key that the founder mentions in the interview, right? So you could take that podcast interview and turn it into 6 pieces of content. There's definitely one way of doing it. And the same with any other YouTube video or interview. I think podcasts are really good for this, because you can just pull out some of the key lessons or the key findings. Because the podcasts are so long, there's definitely going to be some gold in there. Now, also, while this is working, you might be thinking, well, doesn't automating your posting across platforms, isn't that going to flag something in the algorithm and it's going to get my account shut down? And you'd be right to have that concern. But I spoke with the founders here, and she told me that's not an issue, because if you pay for the API access and you're like a registered official company, you're not just some like hacky vibe coder who's trying to create some like gray area tool. It's actually fine. And that's exactly how tools like Typefully and Buffer, that's how they operate. So in fact, that was actually one of the things mentioned in the settings tab down here. What you don't want to do is start brand new social media accounts and then start automating your posting. That's really not the best way to go about it. And that's how you do get your accounts banned or flagged. You do need posting history. You need to be posting for several weeks consistently to, let's say, warm up your account. So make sure you do that before you start using a tool like this. But if you're good to go and you've been posting for a while, this is going to help with, specifically for me, this is what I'm using for distribution across all these different platforms, and how I can turn one piece of content and then atomize it into these different platforms and just push out across all platforms, and also push out more volume, because I don't need to click into the platforms to schedule. So if I can just create inside of Claude Code, which is where I spend most of my time every single day anyway. So let's check in and see where we're at. Okay guys, so we've got some assets to review. Now, there is a few videos here inside of Blotato, and then we've got a full stack of images, carousels, and Blotato. So I have used one of my image generation skills, and the thing when you do anything with AI is context. And so I've just set up Blotato, and okay, yeah, there is a bunch of context here in, I think it's in the sources. Okay, no, probably in the settings. Or your brand, you can upload your own website, what products and services you offer, obviously kind of style guide on your brand visuals and all of that. So I've already got that loaded in there. And it seems to me this stuff is going to work better here inside of the app rather than in the MCP. So let's take a look at what we've got here. This is the Blotato carousel, just pretty straightforward. It is using the colors of my brand, but it's very basic, right? So I'd say reasonable. And then these are some of the quote posts. So you could use this with the text post, right?
The number one open source
video
on GitHub is an AI agent called Hermes.
I think that's pretty cool, actually. Pretty cool. There is a few other videos that it did generate. It took a while to get all of these together. So that's this video here, I believe. There is this one here, which is a bit more plain. And there's an editor in here as well, which is kind of cool. I'll get a no voiceover for this one. And for the other one, we can check that as well. I think this is, yeah, just using those basic slides. Okay. And let's take a look at the images from my skill. And these are a bit more on brand. I do like that one. I'll probably use that. And then there is some other ones here. I think that's cool. I don't think it's super on brand. Yeah, I kind of actually really like that one. So I would probably use this one on my social media. So I'm going to schedule it with that image. And with Instagram carousel, I think we've gone to, okay, so this is using my carousel skill. And again, I would probably tweak this. I would like to see some kind of graphic here. It's very empty. So we're going to make those changes and then we're going to schedule everything out. I'm not going to schedule those shorts. I'm going to schedule the Instagram carousel and then I'm going to schedule those posts with, I think it's this image here. All right, boom. So everything is scheduled on X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. I'll show you inside of the calendar here. Let's just give it a quick refresh. And this is actually cool. So you can see how the post is going to look on the actual platform, what's going to get cut off. So this is looking good. One line, one sentence per line. We've got the image there, a Facebook post, a LinkedIn post, and the Instagram carousel. So I did request to update some of the slides with some images, so it looks a bit better. I think we could improve this, and what I would do is iterate, maybe have some kind of actual image here instead of like a graphic. But these actually look pretty good, I would say. So like I mentioned earlier, the thing with AI is iteration and then creating your own skill that is specific for your own brand, your own style, and with your own prompts. And that's what I've done. And that's how I've created some of these images here. And from now on, I can just create everything in Claude Code, click schedule with Blotato. It's going to schedule everything out across platforms. I don't need to click post in any of them. And especially if I'm on a different time zone and it's going to be super late at night for me to post, this is easily the best way to do it. So if you want to try this out yourself, I'm going to put the link for Blotato below and you're going to be able to get a 7-day free trial. And thanks again for Blotato for sponsoring this video. If you've enjoyed this, definitely put a comment below. Let me know what else you want me to build. If you want me to do a video on the image skill that I've created and walk you through exactly how I'll put that together, I can definitely do that. So let me know in the comments below. So I just showed you how you can become omnipresent and finally grow your personal brands like never before. And if you want to try out Blotato, there will be a link in the description below and you can get a 7-day free trial on every plan to test it out. And if you want to actually master Claude Code, you can grab the Claude Code Blueprint. It's a free interactive course that walks you through building real things with Claude Code, all in about 60 minutes. And there's going to be another link in the description below for you to check that out. And if you like this video, you might like the next one as well. So you can go and check this out right now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.